I stood at the edge of my farm, fists clenched so tightly my nails dug into my palms. My blood boiled at the sight before McCarran's shiny red SUV stuck deep in the mud of my field, wheels spinning uselessly as the engine roared. She had done it again. She parked on my land without permission. But this time, nature had stepped in. The recent heavy rain had turned the soil soft and slick, and now her precious car was sinking deeper by the second. Karen, dressed in an expensive coat and high heels, stood beside her vehicle, screaming into her phone, "You need to come right now. My car is trapped in some idiot's field." Some idiot's field. My field. That was the last straw, I'd warned her. I had been polite. I had tried everything, but she didn't care. Now, she was going to learn the hard way. I walked toward her, my boots squelching in the mud. She turned, her face a familiar mix of entitlement and irritation. "You," she snapped. "Do something." I crossed my arms. "Oh, I'm going to do something, all right." Without another word, I whistled a long, sharp sound that echoed across the farm. A deep rumble responded, the sound of my tractor coming to life. Karen's eyes widened as I climbed into the cab and gripped the controls with a smirk. "You shouldn't have parked on my land, Karen." With a pull of the lever, the tractor's metal claw lowered toward her SUV. Her scream pierced the air. It had all started months ago, when I first noticed tire tracks cutting across my fields. At first, I thought someone had gotten lost. But the tracks kept showing up, day after day, ruining my crops and scarring the soft dirt. One evening, I caught the culprit Karen, my new neighbor, pulling into my field like she owned the place. "Hey, can't park here," I called, waving my arms. She rolled down her window, barely looking at me. "Relax, it's just grass." "It's grass. I've got corn planted here. This is my land." She rolled the window up in my face and strutted away. That night, I left a polite note on her windshield. The next morning, it was crumpled on the ground. She didn't care. Over the next few weeks, she kept parking on my property like it was her own driveway. She even started inviting guests over and telling them to park in my field too. I tried everything: more notes, more conversations, even a call to the local authorities. They said it was a neighborly dispute and told me to work it out. Work it out with Karen? I was like reasoning with a brick wall, so I got creative. One morning, I spread the worst-smelling manure I could find right over her favorite parking spot. When she stepped out of her car that day, she gagged. "What is that smell?" "Fertilizer," I said with a grin. She rushed back to her car, but it didn't stop her. The next day, she parked on the other side of the field. That's when I knew she wouldn't stop. I put up signs: private property, no parking. The next morning, the signs were run over, tire tracks across them. I took deep breaths. I needed to outsmart her, so I waited. And when the first big rain of the season hit, I got my chance. Karen parked in her usual spot, but now the ground was soft and soaked. A trap waiting to spring. The next morning, I heard the engine roaring, tires spinning. I stepped outside. There it was. Her car half buried in the mud. She was frantic, pacing with her phone, demanding help. When she saw me, she shouted, "You need to help me." I raised an eyebrow. "Do I?" Just then, the car sank another few inches with a loud crack. She looked like she was going to cry. I climbed into my tractor. "I love parking on my farm," I said over the roar of the engine. "So let me help you my way." Karen screamed as I lowered the claw toward her car. I hovered it just inches above her hood, letting the fear settle in. Then I killed the engine. She panted, wide-eyed. "You can't do this." "Oh, I can, and I will, unless you start showing me some respect." For the first time since she moved in, she looked scared. I gave her 1 hour to get the car out of my field, or I'd make good on my promise. She called every tow truck in town, but none would risk getting stuck in the mud. Then she tried to free it herself, laying wooden planks behind the tires. She revved the engine. Mud sprayed everywhere. One plank shot across my property, nearly hitting my fence. Then, bang. A tire blew. Karen screamed. Her car, once spotless and pristine, was now caked in mud with a flat tire. She turned to me, furious. "This is your fault." I shrugged. "I wasn't. The one who parked there. You set me up. All I did was leave my land alone. You're the one who drove onto wet soil." She stormed off, threatening to call the police. When the officers arrived, she rushed them like a damsel in distress. "This man is harassing me." They turned to me. She's been trespassing on my property for months, I said calmly, ma'am. One officer asked, "Is this your land?" She hesitated. "No, then why is your vehicle parked here?" She had no answer. They turned back to me. "Do you want to press charges?" I thought about it. Not today, but let it be. Clear next time, I will. Karen was fuming, but she had no choice. An hour later, she tried again, this time with a friend. A big guy in a black pickup. He looked like he fought for fun. "That your land?" he asked, cracking his knuckles. "Sure is, and says you're messing with her." I sighed. She parked on my farm. The rain did the rest. She says, "You set her up." "Oh, so now I control the weather," Karen muttered. "I wouldn't put it past you." He tried to intimidate me, but I stood firm. Eventually he backed off. He tried pulling her car out with his truck. The tow rope snapped. His truck skidded. "You idiot," Karen shrieked. I chuckled. Eventually she caved. "Can you help me?" she asked through gritted teeth. I made her say the words, "I will never park on your land again." Then I pulled her car free. But it wouldn't start. "Burned out your starter," I said.
Ow!
Too much spinning. Her friend bailed. She was stuck again. The next morning, I had a surprise. Waiting for her, an entire section of my land fenced off with signs that read "private property." No trespassing. She screamed when she saw it. "You can't do this." "Oh, I think I can." A few hours later, she came back with a zoning official. "He put this fence up illegally," she cried. I handed him a folder, permits, approvals. "Everything in order." "She's wasting your time," I said. He nodded. "You're in full compliance." Karen was speechless. That night I heard something outside. I grabbed my flashlight and there she was, cutting through my fence with bolt cutters. "Karen," I said, "are you trespassing on my land?" She dropped the cutters and ran. Didn't matter. My security cameras caught everything the next morning. I handed the footage to the sheriff. When the police showed up at her door, she panicked. "That's not me." I played the footage. Crystal clear. Her face, her crime. "You set me up." She screamed. "No, Karen, you set yourself up. They arrested her on the spot. I'm not a criminal." She shouted, "Tell it to the judge," one officer replied. And just like that, Karen was gone. I had my farm back. There's no more trespassing. There's no more entitled nonsense. Just peace and quiet, the way it should be. And as I walked back to my porch, coffee in hand, I smiled. Because some people, they only learn the hard way.